you going? It's Donna here, and I have been putting off making this video for a very long time because putting this video out there means committing to starting again. And starting again means facing the possibility that this business might not work either. And to be honest with you, that scares the shit out of me. I've tried to create an online business before. It was affiliate based business. I spent years working on it, learning, taking courses, trying to do everything I believe I needed to do, but it didn't earn me any income. Over time, I stopped seeing that as a business that hadn't worked, and I actually began seeing myself as a person who failed. I watched other people in the same community that I was in. They were creating successful businesses. I was listening to their ads, their content, and comparing them with mine, and I just didn't get what was wrong with what I was doing. Eventually, I just started believing that maybe I just simply didn't have what it took. And now, after taking a different path, I'm actually finding myself returning to a surprisingly similar dream. I don't know if it's going to work this time, but I want to talk honestly about what brought me back here and what I'm hoping to do differently. So, what I originally wanted from an online business, basically initially, it was all about escaping a job that I didn't like. I was working a job with inconsistent hours. My personal time would be constantly interrupted. Yeah, I just didn't like the job. And you might sort of wonder, well, why didn't I just get another one? Well, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I had no idea. I'd just come out of a 17-year career in the fitness industry. Yeah, as that was coming to an end, I just had no idea. And after a couple of years into the job, I learned all about the opportunities that an online business could provide. I learned how it can help create time and financial freedom if you chose the right model. So I chose that model that would give me the time and financial freedom. And I also saw it as an opportunity to provide me with a life that I've dreamt of ever since I was a kid, living out on a country property, on some acreage, having some horses. And I wanted the time to be able to enjoy living that lifestyle. So yeah, it wasn't just about creating a business, an online business. It was definitely about, or it became more about creating the lifestyle that I wanted, having the time to enjoy it, having the finances to afford it, and working from home so that I could be on my property and always be with my horses and all the other animals that I would like to get. So yeah, when that attempt didn't work, it kind of became evidence against me. I was seeing people around me making it work. Other people appeared to be succeeding and I wasn't. I was doing everything. I was putting in the time, the effort, always trying, pushing myself to do things that I often wasn't comfortable with. I was never comfortable in front of a video and making yourself do these things that you wouldn't normally do. I never felt like I knew what I was doing. So yeah, I just started getting really frustrated and thinking, well, maybe I'm just meant to be an employee for the rest of my life. So yeah, the longer that went on, the harder it became for me to separate the business not succeeding to what that said about myself as a person. And the thing is, it's not about me not being capable. Like, I was perfectly capable. I was able to learn the things I needed to learn. And while I was in the education, I was fine. But as soon as I was out of it and trying to figure out what to do on my own, I just didn't know what to do. I just always reached these points of not knowing what to do. So that led me on to doing a UVP course. So a UVP, finding your unique value proposition. So anyway, one of the exercises we had to do in this course was write down significant memories that we've had over our life. Then we had to come back to our coach and talk about these memories. And it was an individual session, a one-on-one session, and my coach noticed how I really lit up when I spoke about animals, my memories of animal experiences that I've had, my memories of horse riding, and the fact that it lit me up the way that I did, it was recommended that, you know, Donna, you should be working with animals. My goodness, you and yeah, I mean, it still brings me joy when I think about that. But anyways, did the UVB course and decided, okay, let's see where the animal path takes me. I saw an ad which I had seen previously and thought I had no time for it, but then I saw the same ad again, and it was about animal energy healing. And so I decided to throw myself into that. I had no idea what I was getting myself into, but I went there anyway. Figured, you know, I wasn't, you know, I'm into spirituality and energy and frequencies and crystals and all that sort of stuff. So I thought, oh, let's give this a go, and it would be really cool if I can help animals this way. So yeah, went with that, and it was soon after that that I ended up enrolling myself into some coaching. It was subtle body energy healing or nervous system regulation coaching. And I was still going through my placements as I was going through the coaching. So I came out of that in that familiar place that I know so well is I don't know what to do. I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I wanted to continue with the animal healing. Yeah, I just had no idea. So I continued doing a few placements, and I just realized how much I was focused on horses and helping horses with issues that were causing them anxiety or some sort of behavioral challenge. You know, when their owners would let me know how much their horses had changed and what they'd noticed, it just lit up my heart. Like, I would never have thought that you could earn income in a way that would open your heart so much. And seriously, these stories and these cases that I have worked with have brought tears to my eyes. It's just so beautiful, and I love helping animals in this way. A bit before starting the nervous system regulation coaching, I actually had left my job, and I just thought, okay, let's really do this, and decided that I was going to put my all into Free to Be Pet Therapy, my animal energy healing business. Yeah, working with real clients, paid clients. That was pretty exciting. It was exciting to create a business that earned me income, and a business that just made my heart sing. So the realization that I've had about my animal energy healing session is generally I charge, just say on average, $80 a session. Each session usually takes me a good 2.5 hours. Once I'll do the healing session, I'll create the report, all of the admin work, conversing with the clients and so forth. So in essence, it's not really viable. It's not something that I can make work in the long term as my only business or form of income. As much as I love the work, that's just the way it is. Okay, so then there was the nervous system regulation course coachings that I did, or subtle body energy healing, or whatever you want to call it. And what that taught me is, especially regarding my first, or I guess regarding all of it, is, and I can look back over my entire life practically and think, doing this, always doing, I always have this sense of needing to do things. I couldn't stop. I just need to always be doing something constructive, and then when I don't know what I'm doing, I get myself into a bit of a state. And you know, that first business that I was trying to create, I remember a lot of the time I didn't know what I was doing, and I'd just be behind the computer doing something, even though that something wasn't necessarily what I needed to do. It was just like, well, I've got to be behind the computer. I've got to be, not looking as though I'm doing something, feeling as though I'm doing something. And it was interesting because I looked through some of my old ads, and I look back now and just go, oh my goodness, it's so vanilla, my messaging back then. But the thing is, when you're learning about creating content, you can only create content that feels true for you at the time. And that's what was true for me at the time. So anyways, the beauty about doing the nervous system regulation course that I've done is I can now recognize when I'm just making myself busy or getting into that doingness or that trying too hard, or so I can pause now and sit back. And there's a saying, you know, I choose presence over pressure. And just learning to, when I notice myself getting to these states, just to sit. There's specific practices that I use to help with my nervous system regulation. And I can now allow uncomfortable feelings to be present with me. I can sit with them. I never used to be able to, and I think the doingness was all a part of not feeling things, amongst other things that I've gone through in my past, which also had to do with not feeling things. So being able to sit and feel, and I mean, it's important, isn't it? Because if you can't feel, how can you feel what direction to take in life? You know, that compass of where to go. But yeah, it's been very much a journey of learning to not try so hard. I mean, a classic example of this, and this is just related to horse riding. A few months ago, I was trying to figure out how to bring more horse experience into my life, because sometimes you got to create as much of your dream life as possible within the life that you already have. Let it go, and I was just doing some general posting about something else, and so anyway, I got in contact with the lady that used to operate the riding school that I first ever went to about 10 years ago, and she ended up offering me the opportunity to ride one of her horses. And it was just like, I didn't even try, you know, it was, I had let go. And the beautiful thing about this opportunity is I said yes, because A, it was too good an opportunity to refuse, and B, once upon a time, I would have said no. I would have said, no, I'm busy trying to get a business started, trying to operate a business, trying to learn this or do this or do this. I don't have time for any of that stuff. But the thing is, the whole idea behind an online business is so that we have time to do these things. And so maybe sometimes we've got to allow the things we love into our life and prioritize that over efforting, pushing, trying. So yeah, rather than choosing to be in my office and doing something that might help me to create a business that I'll enjoy and will give me the time to do what I love, I'm choosing to do what I love, and let's work this business around that. So yeah, on that topic, I kind of feel like I've come full circle, and I'm going back to the affiliate business model again. I believe it is a great way, or one of the best models, to achieve time and financial freedom. So yeah, I've got pretty much a similar dream, but I guess I'm a different person coming into it. I've got more awareness of myself. I know when I'm getting too busy, trying too hard, pushing too hard. I can sit with the uncomfortable feelings now. But to be honest with you, I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if it's going to work. And I'm scared. But what I will do differently this time is I don't want to make the outcome another verdict on whether or not I'm good enough. You know, if you've tried to create something before and it didn't become what you'd hoped, I'm not going to tell you simply to think positively and try again. I mean, shit, thinking positively for me did pretty much diddly squat. Honestly, when I imagine sitting with a woman who believes she has failed, my first instinct isn't to give her another strategy. I want to give her a hug. I want to sit beside her and allow her to feel what she feels without immediately having to try to fix it. And that's part of what Reconnection Before Direction is beginning to mean to me. I don't have a proven formula to offer anyone. I'm still finding my way through this myself. But I want you to remember that what hasn't worked is not proof that you aren't good enough or that you don't have what it takes. If you recognize yourself in any part of my story, feel free to comment down below and share, or simply stay with me as I explore what it means to begin again without abandoning myself in the process. Anyway, thanks for listening, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.